Thoughts about the afterlife. Chapter 2. I don't anticipate arriving at a place of painless bliss. Longing to wake up from death, and find myself pampered in my own perfect plot in paradise, is a bit like dreaming of how lovely it'll be when I win the lottery. All my troubles will be gone. The Bible doesn't offer much specific detail to help us define such a place accurately. That hasn't stopped the preachers filling people's minds with luscious imagery of being transported to our exquisite heavenly forever home. What does Paul say?
Ephesians 2, verses 5–7. God seated us with him in the heavenly realms in the coming ages.
It's helpful the way that Paul refers to this phase of our existence as ages to come. There's certainly the temptation to dream of arriving in the sumptuous bliss of heaven, where I'm released from earth's traumas and ailments, and am able to settle down with great relief. I realize how that's a hope we all might be clinging to. John chapter 14 sounds as if it might be fit for that purpose.
John 14, verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you.
These words of Jesus to his disciples are certainly wonderful, if I'm troubled. However, this detailed discourse Jesus gave just before his shock, death and departure didn't directly refer to heaven. Jesus was training them to walk in a state of mind conducive to gaining revelation of the Spirit of Christ and the Father. Later in this paper I will suggest what we may well encounter. What about Revelation chapter 21?
Revelation 21, verse 4. God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying. Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
No. Even if, in generations past, we've sung many hymns with these words, and paid attention to endless numbers of sermons that promised such rapturous delight, it's stretching things to use these verses to prove heaven exists. My contemplations, when I spend time meditating on these things, are on much more than the established, mythical picture of heaven. Humankind wrestles scriptures to figure out where is the location of this afterlife. Some consider these ages to come as ultimately being here on a fully restored earth, with us existing here in some sort of human form. Some are taught to expect that there will also be an elevated heaven above the earth, to which only certain, privileged ones will be able to rise. The rest will have to accept a more humble state on the renewed earth. Some of course follow the principles of reincarnation and try to assess their progress towards enlightenment after numerous repeated sessions here on Earth. Then there's the New Jerusalem. This city of Zion in Revelation chapter 21 is actually a wonderful image of the new heavenly creation and kingdom of Christ being birthed and established inside each individual person. It's on earth during our lifetime. Unfortunately, that has been hijacked and relegated to some future development on a timeline, and ultimately used as heaven. Why this Zion seems to be little understood is probably because it's just too mystical sounding, and religious people prefer more tangible sounding descriptions. So if that bliss is perhaps only hinted at, what might we anticipate? The fact is that the truth we would hope to elicit from Scripture is not clearly defined in terms of a place, a location we like to call heaven. What we do know is that somewhere, somehow, there is something substantial to hope for.
First Peter 1, verses 3 and 4. He gave us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus, who was the Christ, from the dead.
And we're reassured that there's a sizable inheritance awaiting us.
Verse 4. An inheritance, imperishable, undefiled, and unfading. It is reserved in the heavenlies for you.
In the heavenlies? This word is not specifically a place called heaven, but that has become its default mythical connotation. I regard it as a spiritual dimension, with no particular, geographical location. In other words, I don't have to mold the mystery to fit what my mind's logic needs, in order to be comfortable with the idea. So instead of heaven, it's the much more common mention of rewards that I keep noticing. Yes, we can expect a variety of valuable outcomes, commensurate with the course that our life, here on this planet, has taken. This regular and common mention of rewards is in stark contrast to many Christian doctrines. What I mean is that often a dogma is listed in a group statement of faith as one of their pillars of the faith. Yet it appears perhaps only once in the Scriptures. Commonly, several of the main ones are not really found in any clear, definitive form in Scripture at all. And one particular pillar of faith I'm highlighting here is the discourse that has been constructed to hook us into the idea that we have to use our willpower to do or believe or think certain things to make sure we have a ticket to this place we call heaven. That's an unsubstantiated tradition without scriptural substance.